Detroit Business Hub Group Director Nancy O'Neill works with her team of experts. Listen to conversations with business professionals to discover the latest business innovations, insights, and trends. Find out what's hot and what's not in today's business market.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this podcast, this week's episode, or week's podcast. I was not here on Tuesday. I was out of town in Las Vegas. I am actually back today. I apologize for getting started a little late today, this evening, but we are continuing our membership Blitz. So we are going to go back into one of our recent training webinars that we use in our certification program. I'm interviewing two of our members, Dale Grant and Greg Blackwell, about the financial services industry. Before I start the video, let's take a look at our newest membership video. Here we go. Hi, I'm Nancy O'Neill, the director of the Detroit Business Hub Group. We were recently featured in Fortune and Entrepreneur magazine. I started DBHG to help real estate and insurance agents compete in today's competitive marketplace. As a former real estate and insurance agent, I did not have a mentor myself who I was accountable to. As a member of DBHG, we network, mentor, and train sales professionals to be competitive in today's marketplace. Our certification and accreditation helps you to level up.
One of the big reasons we became part of this was to be around other people that are involved with the same kind of business we're in, which is real estate. And we don't want people to go through some of the things you went through as far as trying to find financing. We're trying to give those resources to people so they know where to go to get that information, to get those lenders and contact information. It's not just finance, but also, like you said, mentorship involved in, anything from finding your appraiser to finding your commercial real estate agent.
I believe with the mentorship program, you can really catapult yourself into a long-term successful career as an insurance agent or real estate agent. As a DBHG member, you receive access to experienced business coaches in your industry and coaching sessions, access to capital, access to DBHG mastermind coaching sessions, access to DBHG podcasts, access to webinars, in-person seminars and workshops, access to our DBHG certification and accreditation programs, and networking opportunities with like-minded professionals in your industry.
There were a lot of things that we learned along the way, and it was a great tool for us to come here. And I think it's beneficial for the people here that don't know about how to go about purchasing and all the resources that are out there, to get that information from someone like me that can make their journey easier for them, that they don't have to reinvent the wheel.
When I was in real estate, I actually signed up for a mentorship program. There's a very charismatic salesperson who got me started with the mentorship program. I found out that my mentor was not even a former real estate agent or had experience in real estate, and really didn't get a whole lot out of the experience. So my advice to new business owners is that to make your startup costs count. Startup costs can be very expensive, and this is a tangible investment that you can make into your business that's going to help your business grow.
Yes, I'm working with DBHG. We have an event coming up January 22nd, and we are launching an investment club, and I'm excited about it. I just want to give everybody an opportunity to be able to build wealth and leave a legacy to their family as well. So this would be like with the opportunities that I have in front of me, that it'll be profitable, we'll do very well, and everybody will be happy. I'm going to be telling my story, some of my strategies, and things that I did to build my real estate portfolio, and then also launching the Real Estate Investment Club.
A lot of professional networking from a real estate perspective. Today we have the commercial seminar, very informative, met a lot of different professional people in real estate, investment, a lot of investment consultants. So overall, in my last year, it's been a very positive networking experience.
Networking is the lifeline, I mean, the blood of it. This is a relationship-based business. That's the bottom line. You're only good as your name, and people is what they view you as. So,
networking is very important. Relationships are always key with anything that you do. You find out that the recommendations of some people, that a lot of the banks use the same people. A lot of the real estate agents go to the same people, and because they know their work and they trust that they're going to be honest with their evaluations of different things. So
where like-minded people come together for one common goal, and we are heavily, focused on community service. And that's what really the organization is really roots, and what we're rooted on is actually helping the community. That's one of the big things of us getting involved with commercial development, is to try to redevelop our communities. That's what this whole thing is really all about.
Minority business owners today need mentorship, training, and networking opportunities. We provide that with DBHG. Okay, and so that was our newest membership video with some of our new members, the Jetta Group. You heard from myself. You heard from one of our repeat visitors. That was Reginald Harrison, about the benefits of DBHG and membership, such as attending events like our DBHG Real Estate Investor Workshop. It was the first one that we kicked off last month, and it was a tremendous success. So we will continue to have other events like that. For more information about our upcoming events, such as our September 24th in-person seminar with Tammy Turner, visit us online at www.dbhg.org. And we're going to get into one of our former certification courses. This is part one of a part two series in our certification program for financial services professionals. So let's go ahead and start with that video. All right, guys, so we're just going to start out. Whoever wants to go first, you're just going to introduce yourself and tell us how you got your your financial services business started. And insurance is still financial services, so I'd say either one of you go first. Just jump right in.
Well, so I'll go first.
Okay.
All right. Well, hello to all the good folks who may be watching and see this. My name is Greg Blackwell with Greg Blackwell Insurance Agency, conveniently located in Southfield, Michigan. And most of the clients who have us say we provide world-class service. So I started this business about 11 years ago, and I got started because I had a background in sales. So having a background in sales just made this transition quite a bit easier for me. And so I transitioned from selling vehicles at the local dealership, and had an opportunity to open up my own insurance agency based off of my sales background in selling vehicles. So that's how I got started.
Awesome. My name is Bill Grant. My business is Ashton Business Consulting. I am a CPA in the Metro Detroit area. I specialize in working with individuals, businesses, and nonprofits, providing accounting, bookkeeping, tax, and advisory services. It's funny, like Greg, I have a sales background, but I also have an accounting degree. So after spending some time in corporate America, I decided to go off my own into private practice. And thankfully, because I had the sales background, you really kind of get out there and hustle and, kind of build up a book of business. So that's where I am now, 3 years in, servicing businesses in and around the city of Detroit.
Okay, great. If there was one thing you could change about your business from when you started, what would it be?
Well, I'll start with that. I think if it was one thing I could change about starting my business, I probably would have did it about 3 or 4 years prior to. I mean, I had an opportunity. I mean, the farmers kind of approached me, and I waited about 3-4 years before I dived in. And if I can go back, I wish I would have done it sooner. And that's about the only thing I could see doing differently. Is just starting sooner.
Gotcha. Okay, Dale?
For myself, I think that a lot of business owners fall into the same position, is that we wear a lot of hats. So we're marketing, we are receptionists, we're IT, and we're providing the business service or product that we're doing. So I think that accepting help, asking for help, or even if it's bringing on help, finding room in the budget if you need to get an assistant or if you need to hire someone. So I think that that's sort of one of those things that you kind of learn early on, is that you can't do everything on your own. You're not going to be good at everything. Those are unrealistic expectations. And so that needs to be built into the budget, that you're going to need some assistance along the way if you want to be successful.
Okay, so if you decide not to hire employees, how do you get your assistance? Do you outsource? What do you do?
You know what? For me, when I meet with newer entrepreneurs, I like to point them in the direction of organizations that are set up to help assist new entrepreneurs. So there are a ton of organizations in and around the city of Detroit who have a specific mission statement to help entrepreneurs be successful. And there's, like I said, they specialize. There are ones that are food centric. There are women centric. There are, just Detroit centric organizations. So, there's a lot of, you can be in more than one organization. So I think that if you're a new business owner and, you've got an idea, I would try to find one of those organizations that best suits you. And they're going to be a great place to go and get resources. So they're a resource, but they're the kind of resource that will point you in the direction of other resources. Resources being, if you need technical assistance, they will help pay for people such as myself or Greg or Nancy to help you out from a technical assistance aspect in marketing and accounting, things of that. Loans. A lot of these organizations, they will either help you get in a position to where you can obtain a loan, or they may provide loans. And some of these organizations, these are lower dollar loans. Not everybody needs $100,000. Some people just need $10,000 or $15,000. So, and these organizations, like I said, they're not just about getting you into business. They are about helping you be successful in your business. So they will constantly be working with you with trying to provide you with ideas and those resources that you'll need so that you can be successful.
Okay, wonderful. So what you're saying is you don't even have to outsource. You might be able to get some of these resources for free. You won't even have to pay for anything.
There's a lot out there. I would look at those resources, and then you outgrow them. It kind of it goes around like that. Okay,
sounds good. What's one piece of advice that you would give to a rookie financial planner or accountant starting his or her business in this economy right now?
Well, I'll dive in, and if I were talking to somebody who was considering starting an insurance agency, I would encourage them. And not everybody has a background in sales, but I would encourage them to kind of have some sales background. They don't already. If they don't, I think it's going to be a very difficult business to break through. Not to say it couldn't be done, because it certainly could, but I think that makes it that much more challenging. I would encourage them to have their personal bills and finances at an all-time low, because they're going to need to low overhead as they open up their own business. And I would say good, strong clerical skills. I think when I first started, I was probably typing maybe 40 words a minute. I could probably type maybe 60, 70 words a minute, because I do a lot of typing. If you don't know how to type in this business, because everything is electronic communication, so the quicker you could actually not everything. It's not all electronic communication, but that's certainly a big part of it. And if you don't know how to do that, that's a bottleneck. I mean, some of the older folks, they have a secretary who's doing the typing and so on and so forth. But again, if I would say good, strong clerical skills, is a great foundation for breaking the ice. And so those would be the areas that I would be, as a rookie starting off, I'd be kind of looking and focusing in on those areas. If they don't have those already, work on them. Maybe work in an insurance office to kind of, and work on those other items, so that way when they kind of start off on their own, that they'll be off to a better start.
Okay.
I agree with Greg, especially on the sales aspect front of it. I don't think that can be, that can't be stated enough. If you don't have sales experience, there's some great books out there. They're easy reads, and it's more or less, it's I don't want to use the term common sense stuff, but if you're not in that arena doing sales every day, you just don't think about it. You read it in the book and you say, oh, that's how that guy got me to buy that car. So you want to kind of learn that stuff, take the time, and also write down things, being able to have that elevator pitch, that 3-sentence, what do you do? Not everybody has a lot of time. So you want to be able to tell them who you are, what you do, how to get in contact with you, in a very short amount of time. So you can't underscore that enough. I'm going to add on to that, the accounting aspect with any business that you start. You need to have a system in place to manage your revenue and expenses so that you can manage your budget, you can run your business effectively, and so that you can properly prepare your taxes at the end of the year. So, I can't underscore that enough either. Just because you're not making a lot of money doesn't mean you don't have accounting that needs to be done. And it's critical that you do it.
Yeah, I think it's when, as you're starting small, that's the best time to do it because you're developing those skills. So when the money does start to come in, you already have your systems in place versus having to go back and backtrack and trying to figure out, where did all these funds go? Where are my receipts? Trying to find receipts 2 or 3 months later is kind of difficult. But if you have a system in place,
Right.
It makes it a lot easier. So yeah, very good advice. And then about the sales, there is a great book out. It's called Fire Your Job, Be Your Own Boss. I just wanted to plug that one too. I know for me, before I sold insurance, I wasn't really comfortable becoming an agent just flat out. So I went to Allstate and I sold insurance as a producer for a year before I decided to branch out and start my own agency. So that's advice too. You don't always have to start out thinking you want to be a business owner. You might want to get your feet wet first and see if this is something you want to do long term. So that's an option that you have too. And then some people, even if they don't have sales experience, they found themselves because of COVID having to generate another source of income. So if they like people, still could be a natural fit for them. And it's kind of an easy entry where you don't usually have to have a ton of skills to get started, and it can sometimes generate funds rather quickly. So some people are kind of put in a position where the sales industry might be their only, that might be the only option right now. So.
Well, I think that right now, with regards to the quarantine and COVID, what you're finding is that business owners or businesses that are doing well, that are surviving, are the ones that are flexible and able to adapt. 2 is that people are, being creative and finding all sorts of ways to generate income now that the traditional ways of generating income have more or less been limited. So I would say, creativity is your friend. I met someone whom, they had a business that I had only seen performed in person, and they figured out a way to take that business and teach classes online and then generate income. So it's things such as that. Other people have decided that I am going to figure out ways in which to reach people through other platforms. You see people making money on TikTok or through a number of ways. So I really just, the gist of it is being creative and finding out ways, because people are still spending money and people are still living lives. So it's just how can you be flexible and continue to provide your service product.
Yeah, I'll just chime in on exactly what he was saying. I mean, COVID-19 is a very unique time, and it does pose a lot of challenges. But the more flexible you are, and across every industry that I help clients with, there's folks that are doing bad, but then there's folks that are just booming. And an example of that, I think, the hardest hit industries has been like the restaurant industries.
Yeah.
And I know of restaurants that have closed up, that are gone.
Right. All of us will probably, because there's been quite a few, right?
But then I got restaurants that are doing like $50,000 a week in revenue. I mean, restaurants that were projected to do $250,000 in annual sales that are doing $1.5 million in annual sales. So, what's the difference? What is the difference? And the difference is, the difference is the savviness of the entrepreneur at that point, the quality of the offering, and so forth. So there's winners right now, and there's folks that are no longer here, and that's across a multitude of different industries,
Yeah, and I think the other thing, like Bill was saying, the ability to be flexible, that means you might have to pivot your business. Like, for instance, even with DBHG, when we had our last in-person group meeting in March, we transferred everything fully online. Like we were having our board meetings in person. We did everything online, but a couple of other video shoots that we had to do in person, like somebody had to be here in person. But other than that, everything else pretty much since March has been online. So we being a new organization, it wasn't that difficult for us to pivot totally online, but you have other businesses that they're not able, because maybe they have a product and service they're offering, they're not really able to do that. So I think the more flexible that you are and can be, the better off probably in the long run.
Absolutely.
Okay, so next question. I'm looking for my questions here. Okay, so I know kind of how real estate works. Insurance, I'm not sure how well this works. There was one of the speakers that was just on before you all came on, we were talking about real estate, and he said, it's really good to start with your circle of influence of people you already know. And I talked about bullseye marketing, starting with who you know first, talking to everybody you know, doing some things before you actually launch, like pre-launch work, so that when you really do hit the ground running, you've already kind of have some processes in place. Like you already have your database established and started. You've already contacted, X number of people, that could be 100, 200, whatever, however big your circle of influence is. You have your scripts ready, you're ready to go. So by the time you have your opening house or your announcement, hey, I'm starting my business, you've already hopefully got some revenue coming in, or at least got some in the pipeline. I don't know if this works the same deal with financial services or accounting. What do you think, Ray? Do you think it's possible for individuals to get their first sale in 30 days, or is the process a little bit slower? Or does it just
no, I think that's a great model to start off with your business. Because it's the same thing, whether you're selling real estate or you're selling insurance services or financial services or accounting services. You definitely want to build up that circle of influence. I do think that the relationships that you develop are key. I was able to partner with organizations that work with businesses in the city, and so there were a number of times where I provided workshops, free of charge, but that helped build that relationship with myself in that organization. And now those organizations may refer business to me. And because they're happy with the previous business that I had provided the business owner, they continue on with their relationship. So, that's just a continuation of what you talked about. I do think that, you want to start off with your friends and family, but you have to be prepared to go beyond that center of influence. Okay. You're not going to, live a grand lifestyle just selling to your friends and family. So I think that they're great for, getting out there. I think they're great for being proponents of your business and cheerleaders and telling other friends about you, sharing posts. Utilize social media. As a CPA, you would think that LinkedIn would be my most popular social media platform, but Instagram is where I get the most, likes or comments or DMs. Hey, I'm looking for an accountant and I saw what you posted. Or people that see me later and say, hey, I saw what you posted about this information. It helped me out. So utilize those platforms and make sure that, you are current with the wave, as far as where are people at, know where they're at, and make sure you're there too, sharing your business. So I think that, for people who aren't in sales, sometimes they feel like they're bugging people when they're talking about what it is they do, and sometimes, if you're doing it too much and you got to find out what that happy medium is, you are bugging people, but sometimes you're not. I got friends, hey Dale, I'm thinking about buying a car. Okay, well, don't forget, you can do that as a tax write-off. That's it. That was a one-liner. Now I helped him out. I gave him a little bit of advice, and we can move on with the topic. If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. If you got a question about it, I'll answer the question. If this conversation sparks business opportunity for me down the line, that's even better. If it saves you some money, but I don't make any money from it, I'm cool with that too. So, but because I do that, people know what it is that I do. And I put all that information out there, and eventually it all comes back to me one way or another.
Yeah, because I think you said just providing yourself as a resource and establishing yourself as an expert, you're going to draw attention just from that alone. Because a lot of people, they can have a title, but when you start asking them questions and, that person in this specific sales industry, you can't answer any of my questions. It's like, well, I would have to find somebody who actually knows what they're talking about. So I think that alone, that speaks volumes. And I know just from, you being so active in the community, your name is a name that I hear a lot. So when I show people the new website and they look at the coaches, they're like, oh yeah, I know Dale. So I can tell that you're really active in the community because I hear your name a lot, or there's quite a few people that know you from different types of organizations, trade organizations, or, wherever. And so I'm really glad that both of you are part of the team because we need people in the community. And I know for real estate, like I would do, and insurance, I did presentations at Lighthouse Community Services in Pontiac. Well, they have home buyers that come through like once a month. They're trying to get up to the point where they can buy a home. Some of them are first-time home buyers. And it's just like an educational resource. And, you might get something out of it, you might not. But it's like just your fact that you want to give back to the community, that goes a long way too. And other people see that. They see that you're not all about, making money. And in insurance, it's one step above like a used car salesperson. So anything you can do to establish yourself in the community helps.
Well, what you guys know about this, but it's all about building that pipeline. And, everybody you meet isn't going to be a sale tomorrow. Sometimes they're going to be a sale 6 months, a year from now, So once you get to that point to where you've got stuff coming in today, you've got stuff coming in next month, and you've got stuff in your pipeline 6 months down the road, now you begin to put yourself in a good position to be able to continuously close business. So it's just all about, filling in that pipeline and making sure that you've got that continuous flow of business.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times you hear sorry, Greg, I just want to make this one point. A lot of times you hear in sales, I'm hitting a low, or, sales are slowing down. And I think sometimes you're just not talking to enough people. Michelle was saying in real estate that they said if they always saw you in the office, it was a problem because they're like, we want you out in the community. We want you out here working with people, talking with people, offering your services, whether it be for free or for money. There's so many people that want to get paid now for everything they do. And I just had I had coffee with Shannon Steele yesterday, and one of the things she was saying, I'm trying to get her to be a speaker for DBHG in January. And one of the things she said, you know what, I really don't charge for speaking anymore. She doesn't really need any more money per se. And it was like so refreshing to hear because you hear that so often, like, well, what's in it for me? How much am I gonna get paid for this? And like sometimes it's not even about the money. It's like I said, it's like about you giving back to the community. Knowing that you're there for your community like I did clothing drives as an insurance agent during holidays. I did whatever I could to, make it look like I was a part of the community I was serving in. It wasn't just about me, getting that next sales transaction. So I think they have to see you as a person and that you actually care versus you just trying to make, a quick dollar.
Yeah, and it builds the brand.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, you're actually building your own individual brand too, not just a brand for the company that you work for. Because one day you might decide you want to be independent, and you're no longer going to have that name recognition brand, or you might create your own brand. I know when I was an Allstate producer, I had like my biggest sale was right before I became an agent, and it was actually a gentleman that lived in Detroit. He had 2 luxury vehicles, and the policy was like, it was ridiculous. Like, I was kind of embarrassed to sell it. It was like $10,000 a year. So he's like, I'll take it. I'm saving money. And I'm like, how can you be saving money? Like, these rates are ridiculous. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Of course, I'm not saying that. But when I switched over to Farmers, and I called him and I said, well, I just want to let you know I started my own agency. And he's like, I'm sorry, Nancy, but I'm not going with you. And I was like, why? He said, well, that's the only reason why I switched in the first place. It's like, it was really not even about the money. It was about the relationship I had with you. And then you left like 2 or 3 months after I had just, switched my policy. I was like, oh man, are you serious? I was just waiting. I would have known, but you do have some people like that. They don't really care about your franchise name. They care about you as an individual. They're trying to get to know you. Not necessarily. They're glad you work for your company, but that's not, the end all and be all. I want to say that. Okay, speaking of that, do you think it's best to start your financial planning or insurance company with a major franchise or an independent agency?
I would say if you're just starting out, definitely try to get with, a well-known company, unless you really know your stuff. But yeah, to start off as an independent agency. I mean, unless you stay at home with your parents and you don't need any money, like period. I would, because you're learning curve, and I don't even think you can, I don't even think you're gonna be able to get appointed with a lot of these carriers if without. I mean, so starting off, you definitely want to link up with a carrier. Or working in office. My prior office manager, she worked in my office for about 2.5 years before opening up her own independent, franchise. So she did and she did it, as an independent. But again, she had that background. So I would definitely encourage, starting with a company, a well-known brand, and going from there. And most times, a lot of those folks who do start off with a well-known brand tend to stay there, but you don't have to, And most times, if you do get to the point, because sometimes you may start off as a sales agent or a sales producer, account executive, and if you have an opportunity, you may have an opportunity. If you have an opportunity to open up your own agency with that brand, a lot of times most folks tend to stick in there.
So I I agree with Greg. I'll tell you a story. When I was in college, I was about 21 years old. I decided to sell real estate myself. And what I did was I ended up getting a job at Century 21. And at the time, it was the biggest real estate company in the city, where I went to college at, in Tallahassee. I went to FAMU. And that helped. That helped give me some cachet as a 21-year-old kid to go and sell, an adult, 40, 50, 60-year-old person a home, because I had that Century 21 name behind me. So I felt that, I was able to sell that aspect of it. Don't worry about the fact that I'm young. Look at the fact that you're with the biggest real estate company, in the city. Now, as an older adult, when I started my business, of course, Ashton Business Consulting is my own firm. However, the difference is, I've got, a lot of sales experience. And then more importantly is that my direct competition is not the well-known firms around the city of Detroit. They are doing much larger business than I'm doing. So, the calculus on my part is that, okay, well, my direct competition are other businesses whom are in private practice, other CPAs whom are in private practice. So, I could do that. Juxtapose that with, someone such as Greg, even with a ton of experience, I might have some issues being just Dale Grant Insurance Agency versus Dale Grant Farmers Insurance Agency. As a consumer, I may just psychologically be more comfortable to go with the larger firm. So, but it costs more money to be with the larger firm, because you've got, franchise fees or whatever other fees are associated with being associated with that farmer. So there's the trade-off there. I think that Greg alluded to it. The experience and the skill set to be able to go off and, be able to write policies and make sure that you've got, that you have what you need available to be successful, versus going with an established name, but having to take on that associated cost, thereby locking yourself into having to generate a certain amount of revenue to make sure you cover those costs.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I think it just depends on the individual. It's what's your comfort level, because like you said with Dale, with these other companies that make so much more money, they have a lot more overhead too. They've got to pay staff, they have to pay, lease or pay for real estate. So there's a lot of things that I think we just kind of look at the bottom line all the time. But, my thing is like, what's your net income? Like, I'm not as concerned about gross, but like, what is your take-home pay? So growth isn't always like the be all end all, because there's companies that are 500 companies and they're going bankrupt now. So growth is not everything, and I think there's a lot of pressure sometimes with the franchise. Like you said, the franchise fees, you have quotas with these franchises. So you're using their name and they're telling you how much you have to sell. So I do talk about that in my book too, when people are deciding which direction they're going to go in. And a lot of times I think it's difficult paying those franchise fees if you don't have that background in sales experience. It's even that much more difficult, because you're learning a business and then also learning how to sell at the same time. So it's almost virtually impossible to do two at the same time. And then you've already invested all of this money. You feel like I've got to make it because I've already spent all this money on this franchise fee. So it does put you under a tremendous amount of pressure.
Yeah, I don't know of anybody who started their own independent from scratch. I mean, unless they, maybe their family members was into it and they could have some experience that way. But other than that, insurance is not one of those things that you're gonna be able to do from scratch. You're just not. Yeah, you gotta get the experience.
Okay. Well, thank you all so much for joining us this evening and watching our new membership video, and then listening to a module from our DBHG certification course on or about the financial services industry and how to start your business as an insurance agent or a sales professional in financial services. We're going to wrap up today just by reminding you about our membership blitz. It is going on until the end of July. You can actually join this month or towards the end of this month for only $100, which is a 20% discount off of our regular rate of $125. You can now become a member of DBHG for just $100 until the end of this month. So we have so many benefits. Please take a look at our website, www.dbhg.org. For more information, you can also see the overlay with our website on it as well. Please take a look so you can find out all the benefits that we offer at dbhg.org, or you can always visit us online through YouTube and watch all of our former podcasts, some of our webinars and seminars. A lot of our seminars, we actually have Zoom live. Some of those are available on our YouTube channel under my name, Nancy O'Neill. So we're going to wrap up today. Once again, remind you about our membership blitz. When you go to our homepage, it's right on the button on our hero image. You can just click on Get Started. It will take you to our discounted page where you can get started with your membership. And we are getting new members. We have recruited 2 members this week. John Clear is one of our new members. So congratulations, John Clear, for getting started with us. Mike Spica is one of our newer members. He actually started from the Shannon Steele event. So we are so excited about having him recently join our board. Kimberly Naylor also recently started her membership with us. She was actually part of our DBHG lecture series this month. She was our speaker, I believe, in April, and she has recently become a new member this week. So the train is moving. We want you to come aboard and be a part of us. Not only do we promote our own organization as a 501c6 membership organization, but we also promote your business. We're going to wrap up today with an Incubizo video. Incubizo is one of our corporate members, and they are actually platinum members. So for more information about our different corporate member levels, make sure you take a look at our membership page. All right, everybody, we will continue our membership blitz next Tuesday. We're going to wrap up with this Incubizo video. We look forward to you joining us in. Okay, if you are interested in shared office space, you saw the contact information there for Incubizo. Feel free to take a look, give them a call. They're located in Ferndale. They'd be happy to assist you. And I do believe they may offer a discount rate to our members, but please give Joshua contact a call and ask him what kind of discounts you can receive as a DBHG member. And we will see you all next Tuesday. Bye, everyone. Have a great weekend. See you Tuesday.